Here's Beth Lawrence with the business headlines from the Medill News Service.
The McDonald's Corporation is rolling out a new customized ordering plan. Officials hope the initiative will lift sales and bring in more customers. Medill reporters Andrew Fowler and Alicia Kahn have more on the story. And with the cost of the average American wedding at almost $30,000, a down payment on a home could be cheaper. Protesters brought with them to the White House today a petition with more than 500,000 signatures. It calls on the president to use his executive authority to require that all government contractors disclose all of their political contributions. Apps like this one might make it easier for customers to hail traditional taxis, but with surge pricing all around, customers might be choosing those cabs less. For the first time in Chicago history, there will be a runoff in the mayoral election. Hello and welcome back to Medill Reports. I'm Beth Lawrence. But another tip I've gotten is to always wear your helmet, even when you're not riding. Farm Here's food isn't the only thing that's sustainable. The company uses soy-based ink for printing, biodegradable cardboard for packaging, and has recently switched to LEDs for lighting. They plan to be completely LED lit this year. Thank you so much for joining us, Brian.
Oh, thank you, Beth. It's been a great experience.
Great. And thank you all for joining us as well. For Medill Newsmakers, I'm Beth Lawrence. Have a good one. Dancing lions, puppets, and traditional performances ushered in the Lunar New Year at the Chicago Cultural Center this week.
Happy Chinese New Year, everyone!
Hundreds of people gathered to ring in the year of the sheep, or the goat, or the ram. That distinction is still up for debate.
And that is actually because the Chinese character yang is actually used for all three of those, depending on what other characters they might be paired with.
But no matter what animal year it is, people enjoyed the celebration.
I honestly don't know a lot of the fables and legends, so it was fun to watch them act out the puppet shows and even the dances. I thought those girls were so beautiful and graceful. I really loved that.
It was amazing. I got more than I bargained for.
Festivities also included a craft table for children, a calligrapher, and traditional artwork displays.
In China, it's still actually a struggle to keep on the old arts alive, so it's really unique for us to have them here.
The Chinese Fine Art Society's Leslie Chin McCool says the holiday is actually about something closer to home.
Family. It's most important to be with family at the Lunar New Year.
McCool says people go home to be with family and celebrate in a similar way as Americans gather for Thanksgiving. But it's also a time for new beginnings.
Start fresh, start new, buy new clothes, get rid of old debt.
Mayor Rahm Emanuel says he hopes 1 year soon Chicago will become home to the biggest Chinese New Year celebration in North America. Celebrations continue across the city through March 1st. Beth Lawrence, Medill Reports.
Show me what democracy looks like!
This is what democracy looks like!
Washington is one of many cities where protesters today urged the White House to crack down on so-called dark money, secret political spending by government contractors.
The fact that money plays an outsized role in our political system is no secret.
Members of a coalition of watchdog groups used a 15-foot inflatable flashlight to signify the need to shine a light on hidden spending.
Right now, the public is completely in the dark, and their taxpayer dollars in the trillions go to these contractors. We deserve to know if there's any influence at play.
Right now, companies have to disclose certain amounts of funds, but they also can hide it through front groups that they create.
Protesters brought with them to the White House today a petition with more than 500,000 signatures. It calls on the president to use his executive authority to require that all government contractors disclose all of their political contributions.
It's one of the few things within his power that he can do to actually curb corporate control of our country.
The demonstrations mark the first anniversary of the Supreme Court decision that struck down overall caps on political contributions.
We're saying, Mr. President, we stand with you and your values, and today we want you to stand with us.
Despite the rallies across the country, some civil libertarians say these contributions constitute free speech and should not be regulated. Almost 60 rallies took place in cities across the country, including New Orleans, Clearwater, Florida, and Leesburg, Virginia. For the Medill Journalism School in Washington, D.C., reporting for UPI, this is Beth Lawrence. Mortgage above marriage. That's what Gina Sondy and David Kotas decided when they bought their home in North Center.
Getting a mortgage with someone is a bigger commitment than getting married.
According to a study conducted by the national real estate brokerage firm Redfin, almost 40% of millennials would choose to get a mortgage together before marriage. Millennials are the generation born between 1980 and 2000.
A lot of my clients like to plan it out, buy the house first, then plan the wedding further out so that they can build their home together instead of getting married and then having less money to put down on a home.
And with the cost of the average American wedding at almost $30,000, a down payment on a home could be cheaper.
Many of my clients who are millennials in that age range are choosing to buy a house first and then get married, usually anywhere from 6 to 18 months after.
Some couples, like Sandy and Kotes, are even choosing to buy a home together instead of getting married.
We've been together for so long. We've been living together for about 2 years at this point. I don't feel like getting married would really change our daily life in any way.
It just almost seems a little bit, unnecessary.
Clayton Urach says a lot of couples find it necessary to buy a home together for financial reasons.
Many of my clients are choosing to buy a house maybe with a lower down payment due to financial constraints like saving for a wedding. And in return, they're also getting very good interest rates.
Urach says he and other millennials are more financially savvy than previous generations after weathering the Great Recession.
They're certainly more attuned to putting money away every month in savings and paying toward a mortgage rather than paying a landlord.
For Sandy and Kotes, paying a mortgage instead of a landlord was more important than saying I do.
There's way more paperwork and logistics involved if something were to go wrong, so I don't think we would have made that commitment not having considered those repercussions if something went badly.
In North Center, Beth Lawrence, Medill reports.